Welcome to Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm your host, Jen Trepic, talking wellness and weight loss for real life. We're here to clear up the myths, misinformation, bad science, and marketing to teach you how to eat and how to cheat. Are you ready? I'm having salad with a side of fries. This week, we're talking about Thunderbird real food energy bars. Mike, have you heard of these, by the way?
I have not, but I love energy bars, so I'm always looking for something.
Okay. So these were mentioned to me. I made a note and I figured now is the perfect time to take a look at them. So admittedly, I haven't tried them either. I started with their website and their marketing. So they say superfood energy bars only made with real food ingredients. Okay, my reaction is great. Sounds good. And we've heard this before. So, call me cynical, maybe just a little bit of healthy skepticism. I'm like, okay, I need more, right? So then I kept scrolling and they have a lot of logos and badges. So it's non-GMO project verified, certified paleo, plant-based paleo. They have a badge for crafted in Austin, Texas, a 0 grams of added sugar badge, and then one that's also certified gluten-free. So, okay, interesting. A lot of those badges cost a lot of money. Again, it's not necessarily telling me what we are getting, from everything that's there. The packaging on each bar says real food, unreal taste. So you'll have to decide on that one. Plant-based paleo superfood bar, 0 grams of added sugar. Okay, fine. So out of curiosity, before I went to the nutrition facts, I wanted to learn more about the company itself, their philosophy, their approach, so I went to the about section. This is probably one of the shortest about sections on a website I've ever seen. It says how Thunderbird got its wings. Thunderbird was founded in 2010 in Austin, Texas, when 2 adventurous triathletes were inspired to create a great tasting whole food energy bar. They believed simple, real food is all that's needed to make it a delicious bar. They were right. Today, Thunderbird's reputation and flavor innovation hold true. And what keeps the adventure going strong? You. Welcome to the flock, friend. So, all right, I love all the little puns, right? Welcome to the flock, got its wings, right? As a University of Michigan Business School grad who focused on marketing, I see you. I also like that it's sort of short, sweet, and to the point.
Mm-hmm.
I did have one key takeaway, and I'm curious, what's one thing that stood out to you from that?
Of their little narrative? Well, I don't know. I don't want to steal your thunder, pun intended. Right. I'll let you take it.
All right. So they're triathletes, which means to me what they're considering for their nutritional needs for energy is likely different than what the average consumer actually needs. Because most of us are not triathletes. Most of us are not doing super endurance activity.
That is probably a very accurate statement, I would say.
Yeah. So what that means, now I also haven't yet looked at the nutrition facts, but so what that means is that I'm expecting them to be higher in carbs, less protein, less fiber, right? Because those are things that are going to slow the absorption of that fuel. And if we're looking for endurance, what we need, right, especially if it's what we would call intra-activity fuel, is we're looking for more of those carbs.
Yeah, arguably, you would want it to be more, for that purpose, you'd want it to be more processed rather than less processed, because the more processing, the easier the digestion and absorption. So, I don't know if I necessarily want a whole food bar with no added sugar. Sugar, particularly for endurance athletes, is the best thing that you can have. But I think you made a really good point. Just because somebody really in shape is consuming this bar doesn't mean it's appropriate, for the average person to consume, during the course of their day.
Yeah, 1,000%. Okay, so now I went to go look at their flavors and the nutrition. I will give them credit. They are right about the innovative flavors. The top 3, they said, are chocolate almond butter sea salt, cashew fig carrot, and hazelnut coffee maca. And then they have ones like pecan goji pistachio and chili pepita pineapple. So yes on the flavors. And on that token, by the way, everybody's going to have to taste them and decide for themselves if you think they're delicious. I figured let's look at their most popular one and probably the flavor that most people are likely to buy, which is the chocolate almond butter sea salt. Okay, so nutrition facts. 220 calories, which if you're a salad with a side of fries listener, you know we only pay minor attention to that because it's about what those calories are made of, right? Where are they coming from? Then it says 14 grams of fat with 1 gram of saturated fat, 20 grams of carbs with 4 grams of fiber, 14 grams of total sugar, 6 grams of protein. And then I normally don't mention this, but I want to mention it here. It says 310 milligrams of sodium. So I was kind of right? More carbs. There's actually more fat than I expected, but
yeah. Again, not, this is not something I'd recommend for consumption, during the course of a race or something like that. That fat is going to really kind of just sit in your GI tract and muck things up.
Yeah. And then like hovering around an ounce of protein and a little bit of fiber. So again, it sort of depends on what you're using it for. Now, the sodium piece is interesting because again, with endurance athletes, right, minerals and dehydration, it sort of speaks to that thing. The ingredients list is basically just as they promise. So it reads dates, almonds, cacao, cashews, and Himalayan pink salt.
Yeah, this sounds like a different version of an RX bar. Like that,
right.
If you're familiar with RX bars, it's almost what I think the base is dates in RX bars.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, similar to the RX bars, like I like the simplicity of the ingredients. And fundamentally, it comes down to your use, right? For most of us, I don't love dates as the first ingredient. It sounds good, right? But essentially, we have a sweetener. That's what they're using it for, right? We have a sweetener as the number one ingredient. And so it makes me wonder how much, it's the equivalent of how many dates in each bar, because I suppose I should do a nutrition nugget just on dates, but it only takes 4 or 5 for dates to spike your blood sugar. Now, again, to your point, if you're using this to fuel activity, that's not necessarily a concern. If we're looking at this to satisfy us for an extended period of time, I don't know that this is going to fit the bill. Again, they're endurance athletes. I think if you're an endurance athlete, this might be more interesting. But I think if you're looking for a meal replacement or a snack, I would count this as a fat to some degree. And then I would need to add more protein and more fiber for it to really, I'm hesitating using the phrase hold its weight as a snack,
Well, but kind of weight is the conversation here because this is a very energy dense bar. And, you just kind of operate off the basic premise of, volumetrics and trying to have foods that have low energy density, versus high energy density. This is a very energy dense food. And so I would say it's probably not going to be very filling and very satiating. And you're probably going to be pretty hungry pretty soon.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Exactly the same. This would maybe last a little while. I need to bulk it up. And by that token, then at that point, I think I'd just make my own snack.
Sure.
Maybe go even similar in the flavors, but you could just build your own snack that has more protein, more fiber, more quality fat. So this made me want to go look at some of the other flavors and see, what's the range here? How much variation is there? So I went to the cashew fig carrot, and the ingredients are not dramatically different, but the nutrition facts have a range. So the ingredients were dates, figs, cashews, carrots, vanilla extract, Himalayan pink salt, and nutmeg. Then the nutrition facts were 170 calories, 4 grams of fat, 105 milligrams of sodium, 30 grams of carbs with 3 grams of fiber, 24 grams of sugar of that, and 3 grams of protein, right? So here's a place where your net carb count is 27 for the average person sitting at a desk. We're probably not doing ourselves any favors with this choice.
It's interesting that the same bar is such a wide variety of calories and fat. But I mean, the first bar had a peanut butter element to it. So that sounds like that it was the nut butter fat that got that first bar up there. Very interesting.
Right. And then there were other flavors where it was, 19 grams of fat. And so I say this all the time whenever we look at foods, especially bars, you have to look at every flavor from every brand. Like we can't make the assumption that this flavor checks out, so all the options from this brand check out, I think all in, I guess I'm kind of torn on this. I mean, I think for me and my typical clients on a daily basis, this is probably not our pick. I love the simple ingredients, but maybe it serves a purpose if you're really truly an endurance athlete. But then to your point, maybe choose the flavor that doesn't have as much fat, so it's not just sitting there.
Yeah, or maybe this is something, if you need a snack an hour and a half before you go to the gym to maintain your blood sugar level, maybe that's something that works. But yeah, to your point, energy bar is a little misleading on this because it's a question of, what do you need energy for? And if it's sustained energy during your day that's going to satiate you, seems like the nutritional profile wouldn't favor that.
Yeah, 1,000%. Well, there you have it. That's our take on the Thunderbird Real Food energy bars. As always, everybody, I'm your host, Jen Trepeck. Connect with me on Instagram or all social media. I'm at Jen Trepeck, JENNTREPECK. Website is asaladwithasideoffries.com. Pick your platform, send a message. I want to hear your takeaways, your ideas, your questions. This is also the easiest way to learn more about working with me as your health coach. Michael Stack, thank you again for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's been great.
Absolutely. Always love chatting with you. And of course, everybody, if you are not already, join our membership program by going to glow.fm/salad with a side of fries. This shows your support for this podcast, this community, and most importantly, it supports your health. You'll get this week's recipe for the healthier peanut butter banana ice cream and the article about how to get more movement and activity in your day without the gym. Well, friends, that's it for today's episode of Salad with a Side of Fries. Congratulations for making yourself and your health a priority. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to click subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform. Share us with a friend, and we'll be back next week. Always remember, you deserve it, and you are worth it. Happy healthy.